Super funny jokes for kids. How funny are you? All about joke making, pranks, and more. Written by Miss Smarty Pants. Edited by Humorous and Hilarious. Illustrated by Jokester. Chapter 1. So, you want to tell jokes? Haha. Did you know that some people have jobs where they are paid to make others laugh? People who make others giggle for their job are called comedians. Some tell jokes on a stage. A crowd watches them. That sounds like it would be pretty scary, but also fun if you like performing. Some people are hired to write jokes. They write jokes for TV shows. Others write for movies or video games. They work with other writers to come up with jokes as a team. Does that sound fun to you? Read more to learn about what it takes to be a comedian. Words to know. Ad-libbing. Ad-libbing is also called improvising. You make up things to say right on the spot. Bit. A bit is a part of a comedy routine. Any joke or funny story could be called a bit. Groaner. When a joke is very corny, it's called a groaner. People groan instead of laughing. Physical comedy. When a comedian uses their body to make people laugh, it's called physical comedy. Silly falls and funny faces are examples of physical comedy. Pratfall. When a performer trips and falls to make people laugh, it's called a pratfall. Sight gag. A sight gag is just about anything that gets a laugh without using words. It could be a funny trick, a prank, or even a goofy outfit. Slapstick. Slapstick is a type of physical comedy. Performers do silly things like slip on a banana peel. They might chase each other or throw pies. Chapter 2. History of Joke Making. Comedy throughout the ages. 25,000 BC. A caveman tells the first knock-knock joke. No one thinks the joke is funny. Doors haven't been invented yet. 1879. Thomas Edison invents the light bulb. At last, comedians can tell change a light bulb jokes. 1903. The Wright brothers invent the first airplane that can fly. People forget all about the Wrong brothers and their airplane that couldn't fly. 1920. George Washington Carver comes up with more than 100 ways to use peanuts. Clownfish can finally say their favorite sandwich is peanut butter and jellyfish. 1957. A comedian forgets his chair on stage. He becomes the first stand-up comic. 1968. The first knock-knock joke is told on TV. Unlike the poor caveman, the comedian gets lots of laughs. Why? Her audience finally knows what doors are. Famous slapstick comedians. Charlie Chaplin. Charlie Chaplin was the most famous star of silent films. He created a comic character called the Tramp. Chaplin also had a little mustache. He wore a funny-looking black hat. His big shoes and baggy pants were also funny. He didn't have to talk to make people laugh. Lucille Ball. Lucille Ball became famous playing Lucy Ricardo on the show I Love Lucy. She used physical comedy to make people laugh. The TV show was popular over 70 years ago, but the show still has many fans today. The Three Stooges. The Three Stooges were known for their silly physical comedy. They were a comedy team made up of three men named Moe, Curly, and Larry. Between 1934 and 1947, they made 97 short comedy movies. They had many funny fights. They did silly things like trip over objects and spray water on each other. Carol Burnett. Carol Burnett has been a comic star for many years. She tried out many kinds of comedy on her own TV show. It was on in the 1960s and 1970s. A lot of her skits had funny physical jokes. Chapter 3. Basics of Comedy. The setup. When you tell a joke, you begin with the setup. It's the part of the joke that sets up the punchline. The setup tells people what they need to know to get the joke. The punchline. The punchline is the last line of your joke. It's the part that makes people laugh or groan. How to tell a joke. Step 1. Memorize the setup of your joke. You want to be sure that you give the audience all the information in the right order. You also want to make sure you don't leave anything out. Step 2. Practice saying the punchline without laughing. Jokes are funnier if you tell them with a straight face. All about impersonations. What is an impersonation? An impersonation is when you copy someone's voice or the way they move or act. You do it in a funny way, not a mean way. The point is to make people laugh. It's fun trying to do impersonations. Pick someone you know very well. Good impersonators study the way a person talks and moves. They try to copy the way the person does those things. Of course, an impersonator will never be exactly like the other person. It's more about doing it well enough to get a laugh. Can you make the person you are imitating laugh? They should enjoy your performance too. Can you do any impersonations? Stand-up comedy. Stand-up comics tell jokes or funny stories and do impersonations or one-liners. Some even use props. One-liners. One-liners are the shortest kind of joke. The setup and punchline both fit into one sentence. Here's a one-liner you might have heard before. I just flew in last night and boy, are my arms tired. The first half of this sentence is the setup. People think the comedian is about to tell a story about their plane flight. But the comedian doesn't do what the audience expects. They surprise them with the funny image of a person flying. That silly twist is the punchline of this one-liner. Chapter 4. So, you want to be a famous comedian? If you want to become a comedian one day, here are things you will need to do. Material. If you want to be a stand-up, the first thing you will need is material. What is material? Your material is jokes, funny stories, one-liners, and impersonations. Choose jokes that you think are funny. Then, it's time to memorize your material. Practice. The only way to perfect your routine is to practice it a lot. Try it out in front of a mirror. Try to speak as if you are just talking. Next, it's time for your first performance. Funny fact. So who can you practice your jokes on? Try doing your comedy routine for a friend, for your family, in the mirror, or even for a stuffed animal. The more you practice, the easier it gets. Performance. Your routine is ready. Now what? Try it out in front of people. The more you perform, the better you'll do. You might feel nervous. Take your time when you speak. Tell your jokes slowly and clearly. Make sure everyone can hear you. If you get a big laugh, stop for a minute. Wait for everyone to quiet down. Then continue with your next joke. Funny fact: Groucho Marx was known for physical comedy. You can dress up like him. All it takes is the famous glasses and nose disguise, a fake nose, bushy eyebrows, and a thick mustache are all attached to a pair of glasses. Comic timing. You can make your jokes extra funny. Comedians know when to pause and when to start again. Here's an example of a joke where the right timing makes all the difference. Knock, knock. Who's there? Impatient cow. Impatient moo. The more you perform, the better you will become at comic timing. Chapter 5. Gag Ideas. Physical comedy doesn't have to be hard. Try these simple gags to get a laugh. Then, try to think of some ideas of your own. There's no limit to the number of gags you could make up. Wear clothes that are way too big. Wear clothes that are way too small. Talk into a banana like it's a cell phone. Funny fact: what is a sight gag? It's a visual joke. It looks silly or surprising. Gags can be a type of physical comedy. Walk like a duck. Pretend a shoe is a cell phone. Do a silly dance. Move and talk like a robot. Wear a stack of hats. Wear a lampshade on your head. Crack your nose. Lots of people can crack their knuckles. First, they bend them. Then, the knuckles make a loud, cracking sound. But have you ever heard someone crack their nose? It's easy. Cup your hands together, cover your nose and mouth. Make a soft noise by popping your thumbnail across the edge of your front teeth. Think of plucking a string. Now, use your fingertips to push your nose to the side while you make the popping noise. Lick your nose. This trick is kind of like wiggling your ears. It takes a lot of practice. Here are some tips to help you. Pull your top lip down so it covers up your front teeth. Then, stick your tongue out as far as you can. The tip of your tongue should come to a point. Make the tip of your tongue reach up as high as possible until the tip of your tongue touches the tip of your nose. Need to cheat? Use a finger to push down your nose. Wiggle your ears. This bodily function is no trick. Some people really can wiggle their ears. This can look very silly. If you want to learn to wiggle your ears, you will need patience, practice, and a mirror. Watch your ears in a mirror. Raise your eyebrows up and down. Gently clench and unclench your teeth. Then grin from ear to ear. Do any of those things make your ears move a little? Next, try to think about moving your ears and nothing else. Your ear-moving muscles will get stronger as you exercise them. Chapter 6. Prank Ideas. What is a prank? A prank is a trick that you play on someone. A good prank surprises the person in a funny way. Every year on April Fool's Day, we celebrate the fun of pranks. But you can try them any day of the year. Prank rules. Before you pull a prank, ask these important questions. 1. Is this a dangerous prank? Never try a prank that might hurt someone. 2. Is this a mean prank? Never pull a prank that might hurt someone's feelings. Mean pranks aren't funny. 3. Does this prank break any rules? You should never break a rule to pull a prank. When in doubt, remember the golden rule of pranks. Never pull a prank that you wouldn't want pulled on you. Shoe gotcha. This is one of the oldest and easiest pranks to play. Tell a friend, "Hey, your shoelace is untied." When they look down, yell out, "Gotcha!" This joke is extra funny if your friend is wearing shoes that don't have laces. Wow, what's that? There are lots of ways to do this little practical joke. Pretend to look at something that is amazing or scary. Stare, point, and say something like, "Holy cow, what's that?" The person will turn to see what you are looking at. That's when you say, "Ha ha, made you look." Funny fact. Sometimes pranks are called practical jokes. The next time you work on a painting project, try this prank. Take a long time picking the perfect color. Then say, "That's it! I need a can of polka dot paint." Ask your friend to get one from a parent or teacher. Try not to laugh when they ask. Funny fact. A whoopee cushion is funny. It's a blow-up rubber pouch. When someone sits on it, it makes a farting sound. Secretly slip one onto a chair. Don't forget to look shocked when you hear that familiar sound. Another easy prank is to use a rubber spider. It's small enough to slip into your pocket. You can hide it almost anywhere. You can even use it to keep pranking the same people over and over and over. The best places to hide a rubber spider. 1. In a drawer. 2. Inside a shoe. 3. In a cabinet. 4. In a box of cereal. 5. In the shower. 6. Under the covers. 7. In a purse. 8. In an empty coffee cup. 9. In a coat pocket.